The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 282. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on the show today. She is a career coach, a workshop facilitator, and she is also the founder of the Neon Life Society. So I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Siobhan Barnes. Siobhan, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Sure. Thank you for having me, Sheena. So I'm the founder of the Neon Life Society, and I started this company because I used to be a corporate woman who wasn't very self-confident, actually, and basically went through the motions and went through a successful career on the outside that sort of looked good and pleased others, but didn't feel like the right path for me. And so through the Neon Life Society, I help other women who are in unfulfilling jobs or businesses that don't feel in alignment, and really help them reset that so that they can do the work they're here to do and live a full life outside of the office as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I know what it's like, just working in an office, the corporate life, because especially being a woman too, right? It's like you got to prove yourself to everyone, not just because, you're a woman, especially an Asian woman. It's like, sometimes I think we're just supposed to be at home. So, I'm glad you've created this society where women can feel like, they don't have to go through that. They can have a different direction. So thanks for sharing that. And what's your cultural background?
So I'm from Hong Kong, and I live here now as well. And my mother is Chinese and my father is Irish, hence the very complicated Irish name. But I love what you spoke about, Sheena, about how challenging it can be to be a woman in the workplace, particularly an Asian woman. And I'm half, right? And I think looking at my face, some people can't tell that I am half Asian, but I definitely identify with more of the Asian values, actually, in terms of like, don't necessarily put your hand up first, speak when you're spoken to, and to be kind of like the quote unquote good girl. So that was a real journey when I was working in corporate.
Thanks for sharing that. And yeah, it's not even just the corporate life, right? It's just life in general. We've been taught to just like be the good girl and never speak up, because it's like if we do, it's deemed as rude or wild or crazy. So, it's crazy what we Asian women have to go through. So I'm glad that you shared that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
So mine always changes, but I actually saw this quote recently when I was in a coffee shop on the weekend, and it's by Abraham Lincoln, and it is, "Whatever you are, be a good one." And I love that because it's about you really defining who you are for yourself and just going for it full pelt and making sure that you're the best version of who you really are. So I love that one.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And I love that, right? Because a lot of people feel like they're not good enough, but you just go out there, be yourself, do what you love to do. And that's good, more than good enough. So thanks for sharing that quote. And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
I think self-confidence is about feeling comfortable in your own skin and being able to show up as the real you. Because, as I said, going through corporate, it was very much like I had to put on a face, like I was this person, this persona at work. And I think when you're trying to be somebody else, you can't be confident because you are always second guessing how you should be behaving. So I think self-confidence comes from being like totally in alignment with who you are and just saying, this is me, take it or leave it, and just being comfortable in your own skin.
I love that definition. And, so many, women, especially Asian women out there, feel like they always have to put a mask on, right? Mm-hmm. Everything looks perfect on the outside, but they're dying on the inside, and not because they feel trapped. They want to be able to be themselves, right?
Yes.
Be their authentic selves. And, sometimes it can be challenging, but, this is one of the reasons why I created this podcast, to help women realize, like, you're not the only one who goes through it. And there's so many women out there who've gone through it and been able to come out of it. So great definition. And Siobhan, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I was, in all honesty, like I mentioned before, like a total people pleaser, and I didn't know what I wanted. So I did what I thought I should do. So I went to a good university. I found jobs with good companies. I was quote unquote successful on the outside, and, my parents could be proud. Like I always wanted to make them proud. But because I had always done what I thought I should do, I prioritized, everybody else's needs and everybody else's sort of expectations for me above my own desires and my own understanding of what I wanted. And so I really woke up one day like not knowing who I was or what I wanted in life anymore. And it was a pretty sad place to be. You know, I remember looking at myself in the mirror on a business trip and being like, oh my God, I don't even recognize who I am anymore. And it was kind of crazy because I was like, how did I get to this point? But to your point, Sheena, I think a lot of women go through this, but we don't necessarily talk about it. And so I think it's really great that you're shedding light on this through your podcast.
Thank you. And, I know how you feel. Like, I remember being in my cubicle and just thinking, is this what life is going to be like the next 20, 30 years? And I just couldn't picture myself like working till I was like 60. And, sometimes like you feel like there's something more out there, but you're too scared.
Yes.
So like for you, what was that aha moment in your life when you realized, you just got to go out there and live your life?
Oh, I mean, what you just said, I can completely resonate with. I mean, I wasn't in my cubicle at the time. I was on this business trip to India and, I worked for an investment bank and they were very, they looked after us really well. And I was staying at the Four Seasons in Mumbai. And I remember waking up for a conference call. It was a really difficult conference call. And I just afterwards burst into tears. And I was like, I am in this really cool part of the world. I've always wanted to go to India. I'm in this beautiful hotel. I am supposed to have this I'm supposed to be happy. I have this great job. And, my boss is telling me that there's a career trajectory for me. Like, there's a path for me to move up the ladder. And like you said, like, I didn't want it. I was like, I can't do this until I'm 60 or even I couldn't see myself doing it for 5 years, let alone, 1 or 2. And so in that moment, that was like my aha moment. Like, if you have everything that you want and you're not happy, then what the hell are you doing? Like, let's get to work to figure out what you're meant to do with your life.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think there's a lot of people out there who feel that way, but they're just too scared to just live their life because they fear the unknown. Not realizing the unknown is a great thing because like anything is truly possible. And, because of your realization, that business trip, what's your life been like now?
Oh, it's been a real journey. Like, I think actually I wrote a blog post on this the other week about the dark side of doing what you love. So obviously following this path has been brilliant. And I'm so much happier today than I was back in my corporate days. But the truth is, it is a challenge. And I think, like you say, people have a fear of the unknown. I think people also don't necessarily want to face the truth, right? It's easier to kind of pretend everything's okay and soldier on. And so for the women that are listening and thinking that, this is safe. I'm okay. I should be happy with what I've got. I just want to encourage you listeners to really take a look at your life and ask yourself, like, is this all I'm here to give in this time that I'm here on the earth? Is there more to me that I want to share? And, the journey is filled with twists and turns. I mean, no matter what journey you pick, but this path of being self-confident and owning who you are, like your authentic self, like you said, Sheena, it is so rewarding and it opens up your world to great people. Like, I get to speak to you on a Monday morning. Like, how great is that? People who are talking about like-minded things. And it's just a fantastic journey to meet the real people that actually inspire you and motivate you to live a more meaningful life and actually contribute and do something meaningful with the short time we have here on the earth.
Thanks for sharing that. And it's, I'm really honored that you're here too. I mean, it's just, I know there's so many people out there, especially women, especially Asian women, who just feel really empty and want to know that, there's someone out there who felt the same way and can come out of it. And the more examples we can show them, like the more inspired they are to take action in their own lives, be themselves, have that confidence and courage to do amazing things. So thanks for sharing that. And Siobhan, if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, or wanted to know about the Neon Life Society, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can find me at theneonlifesociety.com, and all my social media is the Neon Life Society. So Facebook, Instagram, etc. And for all of the listeners who are not sure about, okay, who am I? Where am I going to start? We talked about the authentic self. I've got a complimentary career style quiz that you can take to start to sort of get to know who you are and what makes you tick and what you're here to do. And you can find that on theneonlifesociety.com. And the quiz is right there on the front page.
Thank you so much. To our listeners, if you want to connect with Siobhan, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Siobhan's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank Siobhan for taking the time to share her journey and story with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheena. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It was an honor to have you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com to check out cool resources, blog articles, show recaps, and so much more. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.